Alright, so one of the prominent data miners and leakers, his name is G Matrix Games. He just put out a tweet last night about Chapter 4 Season 3. We're already talking about Season 3, are you kidding me? So he actually gave us some pretty good information. He said, here are the options for Chapter 4 Season 3 Battle Pass cosmetic code names. So of course there's 6 of them. There's Cinder Max, Crisp Rover, Loud Phoenix, Ripped Harvester, Silent Tempo, and Zircon Sweep. So in the latest update, there are all sorts of cracks appearing across the island, out of nowhere. And a lot of people are anticipating maybe this is due to a volcano that's going to erupt. And of course, what does a volcano bring other than fire? But it could also be related to the Rift Gate destabilizing, because the Rift Warden warned us that the island would be ripped apart if something goes wrong. Regardless, some of these code names involve fire. So what I wanted to do in this video is try to guess who these 6 skins are. So obviously we get surveys, and a lot of those survey skins end up being in the Battle Pass. So let's do some investigative work. Now, of course, these are just my opinions. None of this is real. These aren't leaks. These are just opinions. So looking through all the survey skins, let's do Cinder Max first. So clearly we may be looking for some kind of flame, aka Cinder. So here's the first option I had. This is sort of a non-human creature, and he does have green flames about him. It actually looks pretty demonic, to be honest. It's a very scary looking creature, and he looks like he was locked up as well. But he kind of fits the build of Cinder. Next up, I thought maybe this skin. This one looks really, really clean, and it has the Cinder vibes to it. It's got that molten-y reddish maroon color. It looks like a knight. I guess it could also be a creature, because look at the claws. The feet and the hands have these weird claws forming, and there's no face. So we had a skin like this before, didn't we? The Swamp Knight? Maybe this is related to him, though. I don't know. But this one screams Cinder to me. Likewise, this character right here kind of looks like a villain, I'm not going to lie. But this also has a lot of Cinder-like effects to it. Probably a lot of flame-like animations with that weird flamey cape that he has. And he's got almost molten-y protrusions from his head and his shoulders. So this one could be Cinder Max as well. Maybe Max means female though. We've seen Max in Stranger Things, for example, so it could be a female as well, possibly this skin. Why are all these creepy demonic skins though? You can see again the claws on the feet. This one didn't really have any flame effects to her, but definitely could be a Cinder Max. And then lastly, possibly this female skin. So she's got 3 ponytails and a lot of fiery protrusions coming out of her head and her one arm. But there's enough here to assume that this could be a Cinder-like skin. And she's got some kind of orange lava crest on her chest right there. Now the next skin codename was Crisp Rover. Crisp Rover. So obviously Crisp relates to being burned. Rover could mean someone that's wandering. So first up on my speculation list is this skin right here. What do you put on someone that gets burned? Bandages. And who roams around? A mummy. That would make sense to me, Crisp Rover, right? I don't know if that's accurate, but this one definitely would fit the bill. Although this could be a Halloween skin, though we are quite a ways away from Halloween 2023 at the moment. Next up, possibly this skin. This one looks actually really clean. I have no idea what that is around his upper area. It looks like some kind of sash filled with blue liquid, and he has that same effect on his fingers. So I don't know what it is about this one, but I get crispy vibes from it. He also looks like he could be a roamer or a rover. You can see his cloak is all tattered as if he's been roaming around for a long time. I don't know, a little bit of assumption there, but it looks like a solid skin nonetheless. Then we have this samurai-like warrior. He's got almost like a crispy arm. It's this weird fire red color. I don't even know if that's red. It's just a weird looking color. And again, he definitely looks like he'd be a traveler. He's got scars all over his chest, some kind of weird piece over his head that drapes all the way down to his midsection. He definitely looks like a wanderer. Likewise, here's the next guess. This guy looks like he would roam around in the desert. He's got a lot of protection on, and his armor kind of reminded me of the word cinder or crispy. He also looks very evil. I like this skin though. I would definitely run this. Is it the Crisp Rover skin though? I have no idea. It just looks plausible. So you may be wondering why almost all these skins I've picked so far have elements to block them from, say, extremely dry or desert-like environments. And that's because one of the data miners out there put this out. His name is Wenzo. He said that Epic Games added some specific palm trees and cacti. So it's assumed that in Season 3 we'll have some kind of desert/tropical theme. Now this next one, I wasn't actually sure if this was male or female. I'm leaning towards female. I think it's 100% a female, but I don't know. Regardless, it looks like a solid skin. Definitely looks like someone that would travel around. Look at all the knapsacks around the waist. Lots of armor on there. I do enjoy this one. Some furry type gear to protect from the elements, probably. Another solid looking skin. Next up, maybe this one. This was on the lower end of my guess spectrum, but this one also looks like it could be cell shaded or anime, although it could just be the concept. But I try to pick skins that look like they would be wandering around for the rover part. There's nothing really crisp about this one, but again, he's got things around his face or body that would suggest that he roams around. Now I have 3 more for this one, and these 3, in my opinion, are far more likely than all the other ones I've shown so far. So this guy definitely looks like a crisp rover to me. I can't tell if that's a blade he's wielding on the back because he also has bullets strapped to his forearm. But he reminds me almost of a Final Fantasy character that would just roam around kicking the butts of everyone he encounters. Likewise, we've got a hidden female character here with some horns. She's got a pretty sweet looking cape on. I get evil vibes from this skin as well, but a very nice color scheme. I would love to see this one brought into Fortnite. And then this was my favorite guess for the crisp rover. He has that fiery vibe to him, and he's also got a lot of slashes and scars all over him. Another blade in his hand there. I don't know, as soon as I saw this one, I thought, wow, that looks like crisp rover. So hopefully it's one of those guys. Next up is Loud Phoenix. So this one was my favorite. We did get this skin right here. So obviously, Phoenix is a bird. It's the bird that when it dies, it turns to ash and then comes back to life. So this, to me, looks like a Loud Phoenix. It's one of the silliest characters I've ever seen in Fortnite, but a bird is very, very loud. They chirp, and it kind of reminds me of a phoenix. And then there was this one. I don't know if this is a secondary style from the one we just looked at, or a completely different skin. But again, this looks like a bird, but you can clearly see there's a bird-like beak on this skin and some bird-like eyes. So I don't know. Loud Phoenix, possibly one of these 2 skins. Next up we have Ripped Harvester. And the only thing I could find on this one is this guy right here. His clothes are kind of ripped, and he looks like he would work on maybe a farm. He also has a metal leg with flowers on it. This is the only one I could find that would match Ripped Harvester. Next up was Silent Tempo. So the first one that came to mind was this guy right here. He has no clothes, but he does have a headset on, and he's clearly a music-based skin. You can see the sound waves on his chest as well as his head. Silent because he doesn't have a mouth, and Tempo because of the headset, the sound waves, and apparently his animation as well. So I think this is a #1 contender for Silent Tempo. However, we also have a female version right here, and she's kind of split in half. It's just a very bizarre looking concept. But again, I get a lot of musical vibes from her. I don't know what that thing on her ear is, but it reminds me of maybe a headset or something like that. She does have a face and a mouth though. So maybe this will be the female version of the one skin we just saw. Next up, possibly this skin. She looks like a silent assassin, but she also appears to have some kind of speaker on her hip. I don't know if she's robotic or what. But this one, to me, kind of screamed Silent Tempo. Not as much as the other ones, but it's there. Next up, this looks like a male counterpart to the female we just looked at. Again, there's these speaker-like protrusions on the skin. Now this one has a lot more musical vibes. I see almost shockwaves coming off of him as if he's amplifying music. He's a jet black, so that could represent silent. This one could be it as well, Silent Tempo. And then lastly, this guy right here. Again, based on the concept, I get a lot of musical vibes from him. Those little swirly different colors around his body and near his neck and head. That, to me, represents some kind of loud music somewhere. So I don't know, there was a lot of good selections for this Silent Tempo. And then lastly, we had Zircon Sweep. So a zircon is a gem. So this was the first skin that popped into my mind. You can see she has a gem-like blade, very awesome color, and pretty much her entire body has gems in it. So zircons can be a lot of different colors. They're primarily brown, but they can also be a light blue. And that's exactly what she is right here. So this is one of my favorite survey skins that have yet to be released. I absolutely love this skin. She is beautifully drawn, and I can't wait to see if all those blue areas are animated. There's glyph-like marks on her as well. So that's the #1 pick for me for Zircon Sweep. Now, in addition, possibly this skin right here. She's got almost like a disco vibe, and I don't know why, but that reminded me of the word sweep. Now, she doesn't really have any gems on her, but I don't know, something about this skin just made me think, okay, that could be the Zircon Sweep skin. I definitely do not like those big collars. I feel like that's going to get in the way when you aim down sights. Those big Elvis-like collars she's got near her neck. Next up, possibly this skin right here. Reminds me of a female Gundam Wing skin. Gundam Wing was an anime I used to watch back in the day. So she has a few gem-like qualities to her, and the word sweep could also mean move swiftly and smoothly. And it looks like she would quite possibly glide, aka move smoothly. So this one was right up the alley for Zircon Sweep, in my opinion. It would be a great skin. And then possibly this girl right here. Out of all the ones I've shown, this is probably the least likely one. She doesn't really have any gems to display other than that clock-like thing in the middle of her hip. But just something about her reminded me of the word Zircon. I don't know. So there you go. Those are the code names for the 6 Battle Pass skins in Season 3. Do you think any of the ones I covered are actually the ones we're going to get? I tried to give my reasoning behind each selection, but there's a lot that could represent these code words. These developers are awfully sneaky with their code names. Sometimes they represent literally what the code names mean, sometimes they don't. So it's very hard to just guess out of all the skins we've got in the surveys what could go with what. Let me know in the comments regardless. What do you think? Did I pick some good skins, or do you have better options out there? Regardless, we have now the 6 code names for Season 3. And based on everything we've seen with these code names, it looks like it's going to be either a desert theme, a drought theme, or some kind of volcanic fiery theme. So there you go. That's all there is to it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A like is always appreciated. And don't forget to use my Support-A-Creator code, which is Tabor time.